joining us by way of the air, social media, wherever you're watching us from. Thank you once again as you have joined in with Let's Talk Torah, we MHG, and we are coming out of Ghana, West Africa. So we thank Yahweh once again for you, those of you who are joining us on social media, and for those who have joined us here in the presence. All right, so whether you're listening to us live or recorded, Yahweh be praised for you. Today I have a very special message. The message is from Yahweh himself. As my title, Tell My People, I will give them Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. And so just as coming out of Mizraim, Egypt, they were looking forward to a land that they've never been to. They were hearing about a place that was flowing with milk and honey. Milk and honey. Why milk and honey? Milk is protein. Honey sweetens. And so the land is flowing with protein and sweetness. And you know, you don't go there to see the actual of the land running over with milk and honey. But he's saying his provision is there, and it is sweet because of his goodness and because of him. And so today, the message is, tell my people, I will give them the land. So we're going to go into a bit of a book that I've not really started on here in Africa, but we're going to introduce a bit today before I get further into what I want to get to. There's some things that I'm not going to get to today, but we're going to do a bit of an introduction so we can lay the groundwork for later on. So this is going to be the Apocrypha, known as the Apocrypha, for many who have been reading and studying all of the different books of end times, Talmud, just different books. Won't go into them. But Second Ezra, we're going to start with the Second Ezra, the book of Ezra. So, chapter 1 and 2 to follow. So we're going to do chapter 1, verse 1 through 7. The second book of the prophet Ezra, or if you prefer, Ezra or Esdras, the son of Saraz, the son of Azarias, the son of Helikas, the son of Sedemias, son of Zadok, son of Akotitov, the son of Achaeus, the son of Phinehas, the son of Heli, the son of Amarius, the son of Azarias, the son of Amaric Mot, the son of Barith, the son of Abisi, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, of the tribe of Levi, which was captive in the land of the Medes, in the reign of Artaxerxes, the king of Persia. So, as we know today, there is a war between the United States, the land of Israel, current land of Israel, and Iran is Persia. So I thought it would be very fitting to kind of bring this in now, because based on what I see in the patterns that I see a lot of patterns of what took place during the captivity of Babylon. First of all, Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 10 and 11, Yahweh talks about people coming back from a land, and it will be 70 years. So if you look at verse 10 and then skip through, look at 11 as well, he says, 70 years I will bring you back. So what we see is a group of people beginning to come back. And now, based on my research, I'm not certain if these numbers are correct, but I'm going to give to you what I found. The first group started going back with Zerubbabel, who was the king, at the 50-year mark. And over the next 20 years, next 10 years, you had the next group, which was Ezra, leading another group back. And then after that, and I would kind of say that at the 70th year or just before the 70th year mark, Nehemiah, or in the Hebrew, Nehemiah, these groups went back to the land of Israel. I see a pattern here. The pattern is also read in Matthew chapter 25. The kingdom of heaven is as 10 virgins. 5 are foolish, 5 are wise. Will all of the kingdom make it back? Yes. Those who survive will make it back to the kingdom. But there is the first wave, which is the wise. So as I was studying and reading through, I'm like, this is a pattern here. So we seem to fit and are fitting this pattern, because at the 400th mark, we start seeing a large wave begin to leave and exit the diaspora, coming out into the, coming back to the land of Africa. And so, as this is the case, let me go ahead and finish reading. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, go thy way, and show my people their sinful deeds, and their children and their wickedness, which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children, because the sin of their fathers are increased in them. Whoa. So not only did the generation sin that went into Babylon, but now the generation after them, they are sinning even more. For they have forgotten me and have offered unto strange gods. Am I not even he that brought them out of the land of Mizraim, Egypt, from the house of bondage? But they have provoked me unto wrath and despised my counsel. So I was really trying to focus and see where I wanted to start when I come into Nehemiah. And so I was way up in the 12th and 13th chapter, some things that I really want to bring forward. I really wanted to get there today. But I'm like, no, I can't start that far in. So I convinced myself to start back at the beginning, and I'm so glad I did. So I would say probably this whole week I've been just really intensifying going through, and even before now, but I finally got to a conclusion. I need to start at the beginning so that we can walk our way through, because first of all, I would not want to miss the voice of Yahweh, what he's getting ready to tell us. And so once I recognized we need to bring forth his voice, it was not even a choice. So as we continue, now this is what he's saying. Am I not even he that brought them out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage? But they have provoked me unto wrath. Not only did they provoke me, they despised my counsel. If you ever heard we're no longer under the law, that's despising to the ears of Yahweh. As we continue to move forward, still chapter 1, verse 8 through 20. Remember, my last teaching, or the last couple of teachings, I've been talking about the people who asked Yahweh a question. Now Yahweh is asking us a question. And so he is talking to us. As we continue to move, you will see. He's not just talking to those coming out of Babylon, but he's also talking about mystery Babylon. So let's hear. How long shall I forbear them? Like, how long do I need to bear you? Into whom I have done so much good. Many kings have I destroyed for their sakes. Pharaoh with his servants and all his power have I smitten down, beat down. All the nations have I destroyed before them, and in the east I have scattered the people to 2 provinces, even Tyrus and Sidon, and have slain all their enemies. Speak thou, therefore, unto them, saying, Thus said Yahweh, I led you through the sea, and in the beginning gave you a large and safe passage. I gave you Moshe for a leader and Aharon for a priest. I gave you light in a pillar of fire, and great wonder have I done among you. Yet have you forgotten me, said Yahweh. Thus said the Almighty Yahweh, the quails were as a token to you. I gave you tents for your safeguard. Nevertheless, you murmured there and triumphed not in my name for the destruction of your enemies. But ever to this day do you yet murmur. Where are the benefits that I have done for you? When you had hunger and thirst in the wilderness, did I not cry unto you? Oh, did you not cry unto me, saying, Why hast thou brought us into this wilderness to kill us? It had been better for us to have served the Egyptians, Mizrites, than to die in the wilderness. Then had I pity upon your murmurings or mournings, and gave you manna to eat. So ye did eat angel's bread. When ye were thirsty, did I not cleave the rock, and water flowed out to your fill? For the heat I covered you with the leaves of the trees. So as I read through, and you'll notice that today this is a mixture of the King James Version, because you can't really find Ezra in as modern language as it should be. But anyway, Yahweh asked the question, how long? How long? You saw what I did, and so I'm going to just kind of paraphrase this to point backwards. What I did to all of the different generations of enemies, you saw that. You read about it. Israel, you experienced it, but yet you murmured in your tents. When I gave you water, when I gave you meat, you murmured in your tents. I gave you tents for safeguard. Nevertheless, you murmured there. So he's asking the question, how long must I endure your murmuring? Are you never satisfied with knowing that just as I saved a people, that I will also save you? That even if you are struggling in your own mind as to when, then should it not be sufficient that I have said I will? And has my word ever failed? And so this is what I get out of the first chapter. How long shall I forbear them? We're going to look at verses. Okay, I did. Let me go back. Okay, I see what I did. This would be 21 through 30. 21 through 30. Verses 21 through 30. I gave milk and honey. I divided among you a fruitful land. I cast out the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Philistines before you. What shall I yet do more for you? Said Yahweh. Thus said the Almighty Yahweh. When you were in the wilderness, in the river of the Amorites, being athirst, and blaspheming my name, I gave you not fire for your blasphemies, but cast a tree in the water and made the water or the river sweet. What shall I do for thee now, O Yaakov? You, Yehuda, would not obey me. I will turn me to other nations, and unto those will I give my name, that they may keep my statutes. Look at the feelings of Yahweh. He's saying, I gave you milk and honey. I gave you a land. So this is obvious that they are now back in the land and have been there that he's speaking of. So now that they're back in the land, he said, you remember that when you complained, I had pity on you, and I didn't send fire down on you, but I gave a tree that was put in the water and made the water sweet. I could have took you out right then. Matter of fact, Yahweh was so angry with Israel at one time, he told Moshe, just move out the way. And I shall make of you a great name and a multitude of Yahweh at that time. So now he's using, what shall I do unto thee, Yaakov, O Yaakov? So this is bringing in the whole nation of Israel. He's saying, you're still complainers when you saw my works towards you. And those, he said, I will turn to another nation, to other nations, and I will give my name, and they will keep my statutes. Seeing ye have forsaken me, I will forsaken you also. When you desire me to be gracious unto you, I shall have no mercy upon you. Whensoever ye shall call upon me, I will not hear you, for you have defiled your hands with blood, and your feet are swift to commit manslaughter. You have not, as it were, forsaken me, but your own selves, says Yahweh. Thus said the Almighty Yahweh. Have I not prayed you as a father have sons, and a mother her daughters, and a nursing young babes, that you would be my people, and I should be your God, that you would be my children, and I should be your father? I gather you together as a hen gathers her chickens under her wings. But now, what shall I do to you? I will cast you out from my face. So we know that even again, after coming back from Babylon, Yahweh cast them out of the land again. So we had Roman rule to come in And then the end of Roman rule was 70 AD, less than 2,000 years ago. So Yahweh, he's tired of being rejected, and he scatters his people. 2nd Ezra chapter 1 still, verse 31 through 40. This will be to the end of chapter 1, then we'll go into chapter 2. You left my feast days. Yahweh is speaking to us. Even though we are a generation that were not born keeping the feast, but he's speaking to those who had the feast and left them. And then he scattered them, and then he sent us a message. And he said, you once knew this. Chapter 1 of the book of Jude. You once knew this. So this is what he's saying, that your parents left me, left my Sabbath and my feast days. So let's read through and see if we can kind of hear how Yahweh is speaking. Verse 31. When you offered unto me, I will turn my face from you. Your solemn feast days, your new moons, your circumcisions have I forsaken. I sent unto you my servant the prophets, whom you have taken and slain, and tore their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require of your hand, says Yahweh. Thus saith the Almighty Yahweh, your house is desolate. I will cast you out as the wind does stubble, and your children shall not be fruitful, for they have despised my commandment and done the things that is an evil before me. Your houses will I give to a people that shall come, which to whom I have showed no signs, yet they shall do that I have commanded them. They have seen no prophets, yet they shall call their sins to remembrance and acknowledge them. I believe we are seeing this today as people who have not received the Most High to a culture, a specific culture as Israel. And they are hearing, and they are learning, and they are connecting to his commands. I take a witness, the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness, and though they had not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in spirit they believe the things that I say. And now, brother, behold what glory, and see the people that come from the east, unto whom I will give for leaders Abraham, Yishak, Yaakov, Osias, Amos, Micah, Joel, Abadias, Jonas, Nahum, Habakkuk, Sophonius, Haggaius, Zechariah, Malachi, which is called also messengers of Yahweh. So Yahweh has now set his feast days among other nations, and they are doing them. I have seen people keeping the Hebrew way or walking the Hebrew way. I've seen people in France, I've seen UK, I've seen Jamaica, I've seen, and of course through social media, I've seen, of course, US, that's where we come from, keeping the feast days. and also here in parts of Africa. So Yahweh has spread his feast days and his Sabbath to other nations. I will give you Jerusalem. Verse Ezra, 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verse 1 through 12. Thus said Yahweh, I brought this people out of bondage, and I gave them my commandments by men, servants, the prophets, whom they would not hear, but despised my counsel. The mother that bare them saith unto them, Go your way, you children, for I am a widow and forsaken. I brought you up with gladness, but with sorrow and heaviness have I lost you. For you have sinned before Yahweh, your Elohim, your God, and done that thing that is evil before him. But what shall I do now? Do unto you? I am a widow and forsaken. Go your way, O my children, and ask mercy of Yahweh. As for me, O Father, I call upon you for a witness over the mother of these children, which would not keep my covenant, that you bring them to confusion and their mother to a spoil, that there might be no offspring of them. Let them be scattered abroad among the heathens nations. Let their names be put out of the earth, for they have despised my covenant. Woe be unto thee, Ashur. Ashur, or Ashur, was the nation before Babylon. This is where the northern kingdom were taken over 100 years before the southern kingdom. And so Yahweh is speaking, and as he is speaking, he says, I gave them my commandments. I sent word by servants, the prophets, but they despised my counsel. If you receive whom Yahweh send, then you receive Yahweh. So if you don't receive whom Yahweh sent, you don't receive Yahweh. You, and I'm going down to the last section, thou that hidest the unrighteous in thee, O thou wicked people, remember what I did unto Sodom and Gomorrah, whose land lieth in clod of pitch and heaps of ashes. Even so also will I do unto them that hear me not, saith the Almighty Yahweh. Thus said Yahweh unto Esdras, tell my people that I will give them the kingdom of Jerusalem, which I would have given unto Israel. Their glory also will I take unto me, and give these the everlasting tabernacles, which I have prepared for them. They shall have the tree of life for an ointment of sweet savor. They shall neither labor nor be weary. So this sounds like the millennial reign to me. This sounds like the time where Yahweh will give Israel the generation that sees the return of Yeshua, the land of Jerusalem. And as he says this, he says, let them be scattered abroad among the heathens. So the nations, we are witnesses that the diaspora is beginning to rise up. And as the diaspora begin to rise up, we are, I would say, part of that first wave of people. Remember, there was 3 waves that came back from Babylon. Well, from the northern kingdom in Ashur, they have not returned. But now Yahweh is speaking of their return. And he speaks directly to Ashur. He says, "Woe be unto thee, Ashur, thou that hides the unrighteousness in thee." Who is hiding? Yahweh is speaking of Ashur and the children of Israel in their time of the exile portion of their history. So he's speaking to that land, and he's speaking of his people. And what is he saying? "O thou wicked people, remember what..." So he's now calling to remembrance as a witness. Now I know exactly what this means, because it was in the land of my captors, my generations, who enslaved us less than 160 years ago. Now I'm remembering what is written as to why we were put on the good ship Jesus, taken into a land that we don't know, a language we don't speak. And so now I come back with not the tongue of Hebrew, but with the tongue of my captors that was passed down through the generations. I'm probably about 5 generations away, because I do know my lineage that were born into slavery. Continuing. He says, "Tell my people I will give them the kingdom of Jerusalem, which I would have given to the former generations, to Israel. Their glory I also will take to myself." So this is prophecy. Let's hear it again. Tell my people, he's talking to us. This is a letter to us, because he's talking to both the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. Tell my people that I will give them the kingdom of Jerusalem. I would have given the land which I would have given to Israel. Their glory also will I take to myself, and give these the everlasting tabernacle. When I got to that part right there, I said, he's talking to this last generation that will never be exiled again. You can't get to everlasting without running into the millennial reign. This generation that sees the Messiah's return will never be turned away again. So this, continuing to read, which I have prepared for them. Here is the pattern that I see. Okay, we read Revelation chapter 12, and when we read Revelation chapter 12, the 12 stars on the head of the woman, and it says that she was given 2 wings to fly into the wilderness, to a place which Yahweh has prepared for them. So I see a pattern. Yahweh has already prepared a place for us. I'll read it again. "And give these the everlasting tabernacles, which I have prepared for them. They shall have the tree of life." Look, we're going to be restored to the tree of life. And it says, "For an ointment of sweet savor. They shall neither labor nor be weary." So this is a time of peace. And so I'm ecstatic to be reading this message because I take it personal. As I was studying this, I'm like, this is for me. This is for you. This is for us. So I know this is the generation that he speaks of. He's still speaking, and he says, the kingdom is ready. My question is, are you ready? Are you ready for his kingdom? Because his kingdom, he desires a people who's not murmuring. Because that means you trust me. If you can trust me with a little, then I can trust you with a lot. Here's a piece that I'm going to kind of skip through, that once I get to it a little later on, Yahweh, he asks an analogy. He presents an analogy in a question as he's having this conversation with Ezra or Esdras. He says, go to a woman and ask a woman, why haven't she, or why could she not have all her children at once? And so in this conversation, we kind of got to a little bit here. I just didn't point it out. But he's talking about a generation, and I think I'm going to get to it. But if I do, I'll let you know. But he's talking about one child, two, or however many at a time because of the burden that it places on the body. And there's two aspects that he's going to show us as I get to them later, not today. But he talks about the younger woman and the older woman. The younger woman, her body is ready for the birth. So she has her children, if so, one at a time. And we do know multiple times women have multiple children, twins and so on. But to have one child at a time, and then proceeding that, she has another child, or after that, she has another child, and then so on, because of the nurturing and all the things that it takes. And Yahweh says, ask the womb of a woman why she don't have all 10 children at one time. And Yahweh is saying the earth is the woman. Because the question to Yahweh is, why didn't you just have us all at one time and teach us all at one time rather than every generation have to go and repeat the same thing? Yahweh says, think about it. The torture that you send me through, do you think I want to experience this all at once? He says it's enough one generation at a time. And how many people, how many is that per generation? So anyway, I'll get back to that, sometime later. He says, so the kingdom is ready. So if the kingdom is ready, and I'll have to. So if the kingdom is ready, are we ready? Or are we still complaining? Because the complaint means you're not ready. To complain means you're still trying to adjust. But to trust me, there's a little bit of an exercise that you can do when you're trying to teach trust. You will stand, this is only one of those exercises. You stand in front of someone and you close your eyes, fold your arms, close your eyes, fold your arms, and the person behind you is there, standing to catch you. You already know this. They're in place before you even go into all positions. And then the count, 1, 2, 3. So you know when to fall back. The person knows when to catch you. You just simply fall back. The rule is you cannot catch yourself, you can't brace, you can't use your feet to, tense up. You just have to fall straight back. You can't bend your knees. You just have to go straight back. That's full trust. Okay. That's full trust. And so Yahweh is asking, will you trust me? Let's continue. Go and ye and shall receive. Go and you shall receive. Prayer for a few days until you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch. Take heaven and earth to witness. For I have broken the evil in pieces and created the good. For I live, says Yahweh. Mother, embrace your children and bring them up with gladness. Make their feet as fast as a pillar. For I have chosen you, said Yahweh, and those that be dead will I raise again. Wow, I'll get back to all of this. From their places and bring them out of their graves, for I have known my name in Israel. Fear not, you mothers of the children, for I have chosen you, says Yahweh. For your help will I send my servant Esau and Jeremy, after whose counsel I have sanctified and prepared for you 12 trees laden with diverse fruit, and as many fountains flowing with milk and honey, and 7 mighty mountains, whereupon there grow roses and lilies, whereby I will fill your children with joy. Do right to the widow, judge for the fatherless, give the poor, defend the orphan, clothe the naked, heal the broken and weak. Laugh not at a lame man to scorn, defend the maimed, and let the blind man come into the sight of my clearness. Keep the old and the young within the walls, in your walls. Wheresoever thou find the dead, take them and bury them, and I will give thee the first place in my resurrection. I will give you the first place in my resurrection. Abide still, O my people, and take your rest. For your quietness still comes. Nurture your children. O you good nurses, establish their feet. So the kingdom is ready. Yahweh is ready. So let's do our part. We have come to the 400th year. And as we were still in the United States, the wife and myself, we looked at each other and we're like, what are we waiting for? Because we was waiting on the Messiah to come and crack the sky and just gather us all. And that would be our sign undeniable. But it didn't come like that. So just like Zerubbabel, Ezra, and Nehemiah, there's a wave of diaspora that are coming and that are leaving and returning. And so Yahweh is saying here, he says, pray for, back at the top, pray for a few days until you, that they may be shortened. Matthew chapter 24. Yahweh says that he will know no beings will survive except he shortened these days. So this time will be so traumatic. He said, no one will survive. But he says, for your sake, whose sake? Israel. He says, I will shorten these days. Now, y'all remember, I've been teaching about how Yahweh paid for us 30 days up front, 30 years, I'm sorry, because we're outside of a Jubilee cycle. So what I see in 1998, 50 years later will be 2048. That's the next Jubilee cycle. But we're not there yet. So if you take 2048 and you subtract 30 years, which was Babylon, 30 years, you will come to the year of 2018. So this, we've gone through over and over, so I'm just going to continue to move through. The next thing I want to point out, it says, take heaven and earth to witness, for I have broken evil to pieces and created good. So Yahweh has done something. He's done something both to the land and to us. Because he says, I have created in you. So, for I live. So when I saw this, I'm like, well, when was he dead? On the cross, at the stake. Was Yahweh dead? Who was dead? Yeshua was dead. So he's just, for those who have eyes and ears to hear and see, for I live. So I just thought this was beautiful. And so he says, mothers, embrace your children. He says, and those that be dead will I raise up again. So this is resurrection. He's talking about those who are dead where? He says also in another book, I will open your grave sites. We talked about that last week. And bring you out of your grave sites. So is this someone who's physically dead in a grave? Is this resurrection of my great-great-great-great-grandparents? No, this is resurrection of those who are spiritually dead and in their physical body dead, because we have been living in grave for how many generations? The air is poisoned. The water is poisoned. We have deadly disease. We have all of these things that have been killing us all along. And how many funerals do we need to go to before we realize that we are the living dead? But he says here, from their places and bring them out of the graves. For I have known my name in Israel. So he's saying, my name was on you. So I know who you are. You generations, you children who have gone into captivity. Where can you go and I not know you? This is what he told Moshe to do. Sing this song and put my name on them. For your help will I send my servant, Esau and Jeremy. So these will be two prophets. And when I got to this, I'm like, okay, why is he using Esau? Esau was a problem to Yaakov. And so the scripture came to me thinking about the two twins. And of course, I don't believe this is that Esau, but it's a reminder to connect, remez. So he's saying, Esau, I will send to you as a prophet. So Yahweh is saying he's going to send prophets again. So two are named. Why? Because he wants us to think about that time. So once again, the earth has been silent from prophets that Yahweh has sent, but everybody else just simply went. I'm the prophet for today. Just get in line with this envelope and give me 10,000 CDs and I will bless you. So, we've seen all of their tricks, but Yahweh is telling us that he's going to send prophets once again. During this time, it's not going to be quiet as it has been over the past 2,000 years. After whose counsel I have satisfied or sanctified and prepared for 12 trees laden with diverse fruit. Where do we read about leaves on a tree having 12 manner of fruit? Here he's talking about 12 of those trees. So if we multiply 12 trees times 12 manner of fruit, that's 144,000 right there. So he's speaking to a generation of people who are coming back to a land that you have not known. As many fountains flowing with milk and honey, and 7 mountains. 7 mountains? So he's saying, I'm going to flow to you what? Milk and honey. What does a mountain do? It catches the rain. And as the rain pours down, something that we were looking at back in the States, and again, when we traveled down to South Africa, we was among a lot of the mountainous area, and we were just midrashing and talking about how the mountains pour into the valleys, and in the valleys the water begins to gather, and you got little lakes and rivers, and we, as kingdom of people and animals or creation, begin to go and nourish ourselves. Water purified for us. And he's saying 7 mountains were upon the grove with roses and lilies, whereby I will fill your children with joy. Skipping down to the last highlight. And I will give you the first place in my resurrection. So, who gets first? Who is the first wave of returnees? Judah. Judah is the first group, the first wave of those. Is Judah the only first tribe? No. But the southern kingdom was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. So you got a major representation of everything in the southern kingdom. So we know according to Matthew chapter 25, everybody's not going to make it on the first wave. Everybody didn't make it the first wave with Zerubbabel either. But the point is, you still must believe, even if you don't make it for the first wave, the second wave, the third wave, the fourth, the fifth, or however many times. Remember, we got about a whole 1,000 years. This was done in 70 years, 7-0. Now, according to, as I was saying earlier, history, they said they began to go back. The first wave was 50 years later. The second wave, the 60th year, that was Ezra. And then by the last wave, Yahweh said 70 years. So I would pretty much say they were all back who was going back by the 70th year, because Yahweh is never late. Ezra, 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verses 26 through 37. And we're very near finished, I have one more slide. Who's weeping now? That's my question. Who's weeping now? So we're going to look at some more that Yahweh is speaking to us in this generation. Although he brought up Babylon, but don't forget there is also Mystery Babylon of Revelation 17 and 18. As for the servants whom I have given you, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among the number. Be not worried, for when the day of trouble and heaviness comes, others shall weep and be sorrowful. Wait a minute. Israel is not in this. This is not Israel. I've said it before. We don't have to go through this judgment, but some will. The foolish will go through it. But the first wave, the first group, the wise, I want to be with the first group. I don't know. I just really want to be with the first group. So what must I do? I must keep the Sabbath. What else? The feast days. What else? Love my neighbor as myself. So I must do the whole thing to the best of my ability. Because what happens? Your name is written on the Lamb's book of life. For when the day of trouble and the heaviness come, others shall weep and be sorrowful. But you shall be merry and have abundance. That's what I'm talking about. The heathen shall envy you, but they shall be able to do nothing against you, says Yahweh. My hand shall cover you, so that the children shall not see hell or the pit. Be joyful, O you mothers, with your children, for I will deliver you, says Yahweh. Remember the children that sleep, for I shall bring them out of the sides of the earth. This is what I was trying to remember. I was trying to remember if I got past this already. This is, as Yahweh says, and later on, because we'll be past this. This is why I wanted to bring into focus the question Yahweh says. Go ask a woman. Ask the womb of a woman. Why should she not have all 10 children at one time? In Ezra, it is also written, he says, I have divided the earth into 12 parts. And he says, at that time, that he's talking to Ezra, so if that is the case, into generations are divided into 12 segments of time. Where are we now? Well, if he said to Ezra, 10 parts have already gone, we're definitely in the end of those generations. Another little piece from the discussion of a woman bearing all the children at once. He says, the younger woman, as she can bear the children easier and have multiple children easier, as she grows old, it becomes much more difficult. And so therefore, she has less chance of multiples. But even the one that she brings forth is now a difference from her youth to her aging body. And so with much more difficulty, she bears the pain of birth. So he says, now the earth, why shouldn't I bring all generations in one time? He says, look at what you sent me through in the earth. He said, I've had to wipe away all generations and leave 8 people. He said, I got to another generation, and he said, I had to exile them from my land. And, I sent you help. I think I didn't get to what I want yet. No, I did. I'm there. So he says, I sent you a helper, and you killed him. So I'm going to continue so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's see. I shall bring them out. I will deliver them. Excuse me. For I will deliver you, says Yahweh. Remember that, children, that sleep. For I shall bring them out of the sides of the earth and show mercy unto them. For I am merciful, says Yahweh Almighty. Embrace the children until I come and show mercy unto them. For my well runs over, and my grace shall not fail. This is what I trust in. This is what I believe. He's ready. The 400th year has come and gone. So he's waiting for us. Because when he comes, he's going to gather those who are ready and close the door. So here's the test of his patience. Everybody's not ready. And even those of us who believe we're ready, we're not all ready. But he has a number, and he's going to reach his number. I, Esdras, received a charge of Yahweh upon the mount of Torah, that I should go unto Israel, but when I came unto them, they set me at naught, and despised the commandment of Yahweh. And therefore I say to you, O you heathen, that hear and understand, look for your shepherd, he shall give you everlasting rest. For he is near at hand, that shall come in the end of the world. Be ready to the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall come upon you forevermore. I love it. Flee the shadow of this world. Receive the joyfulness of your glory. I testify of my Savior openly. Oh, receive the gift that is given you and be glad. Give thanks unto him that have led you to the heavenly kingdom. So who is he talking to? This is Ezra talking to us. The message from Yahweh. Let's prove that. Let's see. He shall give you everlasting rest. That's not the other generations. That don't come until the end. The millennial kingdom that goes all the way to the last, and then Hasatan is set free for a little while, and then we go into eternity. So this last generation. So I have no hesitation with teaching. We are the last generations. He says, I testify my Savior openly. So he knows. So my question is, who's going to be weeping when we get to this point? So this is prophecy for us. When we get there, he says that he's going to come, and the day of trouble will not be for us, but it will be for others. And this one, as my last slide, Second Ezra chapter 2, verse 38 through 48. My last slide. A tall young man This is really the first time I saw this description of this young man. So as I read through, I think you will understand what I understood as I was beginning to read. Arise up and stand, behold the number of those that be sealed in the feast of Yahweh. Stop. Sealed where? In the feast of Yahweh. So how can you be sealed? You can't be sealed if you don't keep the feast. So it is the feast that gets your name written into the Lamb's Book of Life. Let's read that again. What I want you to do, this is my last slide. Every place that is in red, I want you to read with me. All right? Arise up and stand. Behold the number of those that be sealed in the feast of Yahweh. So I need for you to take that in. Take it into your thoughts, your mind, your eyes, your vision, your taste. We just did Passover. This is what this is. Which are departed from the shadow of the world and have received glory garments of Yahweh. Glory garments. Take your number, O Zion. I told y'all, there's a number. He's waiting for the number. So we haven't reached the number yet. So what is the number? Nobody knows except for Yahweh. So it pays for us to not try to wait, because when he reaches his number, the wise go in, the door is closed. Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of Yahweh. Wait a minute. There's a lot of people teaching we're no longer under the law. Well, keeping the feast is a law. To be sealed is a law. In order to be sealed, you must be keeping the law. That is the law. The number of your children whom you long for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of Yahweh, that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed. I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number. Wait a minute. Revelation. The 12 tribes, plus a number that no man can number, right? So I see a pattern. And they all praise Yahweh with song. Put this song in their mouths. And in the midst of them, there was a young man of high stature. Yes, I want to hear you reading it. I'll do it again. And in the midst of them, there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the messenger and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said to me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of God, Yahweh. Now they are crowned and receive palms. They said, I unto the messenger, what young person is it that crowned them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of God, Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of Yahweh. Then the angel said unto me, Go your way and tell my people what manner of things and how great, wondrous of Yahweh thy God thou hast seen. So here we're hearing Yahweh and Ezra in a conversation. And as we hear them in a conversation, Yahweh is speaking both to generations past and generations to come. Remember the nickname Yahweh gave Israel? He said, you are a stiff-necked people. Look what Ezra said. Let's see. He said, I have commended the stiffly people. Let me find it. So he answered, okay, here it is, the third line from the bottom. I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of Yahweh. So we can praise Yahweh that, yes, there was both good and bad in the stiffness of their necks, because they held on to a lot of the principles and the laws, because they were so stiff. They wouldn't move from it. And even to this day, those who believe they're Israel, those who are Israel, you will notice a stiffness to Israel. And so he's saying, I commend the stiffness of Israel. Why? Because you hold tightly to Yah's commands. And so in this, who is this young man? They asked the question. Well, before we get to who he is, we know that he was putting crowns on them. And it said that he stood high above all of the others who had put on immortality. So we know that this group has to be those who died. And those who died have now went on to receive their reward by the tall young man. And the answer was, when they asked, who is this? He said, it is the Son of Yahweh. So right here, we see Ezra, we see Yahweh, we see Yeshua, all here, and Yahweh speaking, where he says, if you want to be sealed, you can. Keep the feast. So if I never say it again, if I never get back to this part again, behold the number, so the number that he's trying to reach, of those that be sealed in the feast of Yahweh. Can we give Yahweh a praise? Hallelujah. Hallelujah.